biggest apple harvest ever. That's awesome.
That's a lot, because we've only had like handful. Morning.
Good morning.
We got our kids picking up tomatoes. We had a storm last night and some tomatoes fell on the ground, so red or not, pick them up, bring them inside, and then we'll let them turn red in there.
Yeah, and we have just, since last week, we have been in full tomato season. Like,
Yeah.
we're in process our third batch of tomato sauce right now.
Yep. But well, not third batch, but
In process.
we normally do 3 batches at once.
Well, right. When I say 3 batches, I mean like our 9th batch. Yeah, something like that. We have just so many tomatoes coming in. It is crazy. So, kids already picked a basket. And then they've also got all these ones on the ground they're picking up.
Now the beans have been flowering like crazy, so we know we're going to get a bunch of green beans coming up here soon, which would be good, because I think it's going to come in right at the tail end of our tomato batches. Hopefully we get that other canner back, because it's going to be handy if we get back soon. But we also have more sunflowers growing in here, which is pretty funny, but it's all because of a couple that we had in here. Just growing wherever they want to grow, I guess.
Our strawberries are just going nuts. We've been picking a couple dozen a day. You can see all the blossoms in here. And we couldn't even quite remember if we got a second harvest off of them earlier in the year. And now I'm like, how could we forget that?
We picked a bunch of cucumbers yesterday, a lot of little ones. Like, we didn't pick any of this kind. Like, when they start to look shriveled up and yellow, we didn't pick them. But all the good looking ones, we picked them to can them. This is where I wish we had pigs, because we rip all this down and feed it to them and they would love it. They actually like chewing on the pokey stuff, which I don't know why, but they loved it. Every time we gave them a little vine of this, they just gobbled it right up. So I'm wishing we had the pigs now, because this is the time of season where we're gonna start pulling the stuff out to get to the compost pile now. But if we had pigs, they'd be enjoying it.
So our broccoli plants have been doing really well. You can hardly see, there's like one little floret right here and a few back here. But that's because we have been picking off of them. So we've been picking our broccoli as it's coming up, blanching it for a few minutes, throwing it in the freezer, and we're gonna be having some broccoli this winter, which I'm excited about. We've definitely, oh, there's one right there. Matt's pointing to me. There's one right there. We have never been able to actually successfully get broccoli from the garden to the freezer. It always makes its way into our mouths before it gets to the freezer. So, exciting.
Is it good?
Yeah.
If you can't tell, this is early in the morning. The kids are just besides themselves. They want to pick so many things. We're like, not ready yet, not ready yet.
We have been making lots of pickles with those cucumbers. Even though our plants aren't doing the greatest, we still have gotten a lot of fermented pickles in the fridge, and then I think we're at like 40 some jars of canned pickles. So that means we've been using a lot of dill. The dill I planted over here just got overtaken by this volunteer tomato jungle, and I haven't gotten much off of it, but all of that dill that came up on its own has been so useful in all of our pickles. All right, we need to get these hot peppers picked. Our jalapenos, which are not hot, they look like jalapenos, but they're not as hot, are starting to get kind of that little brown marks on them. They need to get picked. But we wanted to double check. Oh, what'd you find? Oh, go bring that to your brothers. They were supposed to pick those up. We are trying to figure out which plants are which. The jalapenos we think are in the second row, and they're starting to be ready too. And we've got some peppercini that I am ready to pick.
Our bell peppers, I had to yesterday tie them up with some stakes, because these are probably the biggest we've ever had in our garden, and they're falling over left and right and producing a ton. Now, if you remember right, this year, what I changed in this garden, because we do back to Eden, because we don't like weeding. Kind of rhymes, huh? Anyways, we don't like to weed, so what we did this year is I put the chicken manure up top to let it flow downhill, and you can tell it's going, and it's about right here is a cutoff. So this year, I'm going to add chicken manure on this part right here and let it go down the hill. But I also added bone meal here because I wanted a lot of flowers. So wherever we put peppers this year, I put bone meal, and it has paid off. We have been getting, we even lost a pepper right here. We have been getting so many peppers. We've never had this many peppers in a year. No way. This has been our best year for peppers. Bell peppers. You found that one? Mm-hmm. Was it in the basket?
Mm-mm.
What'd you say?
I don't get this little to be.
Holy moly, that's a lot of ready apples.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, get it.
Okay.
Twist it.
Where?
Twist it. Turn it and see if it comes off. We'll turn the apple, not the branch.
Okay.
There you go.
I see something.
Oh, there you go. How's that make you feel?
Good.
Well, yeah, I was gonna make a apple getter, but maybe we got it. We got one. It's called an Eli.
Set him down gently. Set him in the basket gently, or they'll bruise.
Okay.
Did any fall off the tree?
Stuck together.
Oh!
Yeah!
Success!
That's a 2 for 1 even. What do you think about them apples?
You like Dad's dad jokes?
But how are you going to get way up there to the top of the tree?
Well, I got it. It's called a ladder, son. It's only gonna work if they're ready to be picked, though.
Do you think they're all ready to be picked?
Yeah, I think they're coming off really nice, actually.
Oh, look at
There's
this
some-
You gotta set them gently or they'll bruise.
Yeah, there's a lot over here.
So we have eaten probably 4 or 5 apples off the tree, I think, so far.
5.
4, 5. Pretty much just fresh, like snacks, and then in our oatmeal, of course. I feel like we could reach those, dear. Just pull those.
Well, it didn't come right off, so. I remember when we were younger, we had one that was a red basket with like claws on the end, and you'd go up there and you'd bump them, and if they came off, then you knew they were ready.
As far as our apples, we won't get enough that we're gonna preserve anything off of these. But you better believe we're probably gonna bake with them.
Look at this cute tiny apple.
What should we make with it? Apple crisp? Apple pie?
Apple pie.
Apple pie?
Because apple pie is so good.
What?
Yeah,
Better than apple crisp?
Pie.
Apple pie.
Okay, oh, hold on. When they're saying apple pie, they mean an apple pie with, instead of a top dough, they mean with apple crumble on top.
Apple pie. Not an apple crisp, Mom.
I'm an apple crisp person. We can make an apple pie with the crumble on top. Then it's both. So we counted what we've gotten so far, the apples, and we have 40. I don't think we've had more than 2 dozen or so ever. So this is awesome.
Let me.
You trying to use that? Here, we don't want to break it because we're going to need it. Matt went to get a ladder, so hopefully we can get the rest. Matt, can you imagine if we had, you know, a whole bunch of apple trees?
I'll make them a lot shorter.
Yeah, this apple tree never really got pruned well. We did try to prune it this year we didn't, but the last few years.
Thank you.
Oh! Your dad.
Yep. Then there's some smaller ones. We'll just wait. Because they're not ready.
54. You guys each have one? Does Leroy have one?
No, I'm not eating mine until mine's washed.
56, 57.
We'll just wait on these couple little ones. And then maybe tomorrow I'll try getting those down.
You don't get another one.
You alright? Okay.
Because you wanted
I would
to
like
eat
to
some
try
of
to store some of these though in that cellar.
That's what we were just talking about. I think we're going to put them in the root cellar as long as they don't have any little cuts or bruises on them.
Yeah.
But 57 apples we pulled off today. So that doesn't include the 5 or so we've already picked. What's left on the tree, maybe another 10 at most. Not quite 10. How many are up there, you think?
7.
7. So yeah, that's going to be our biggest apple harvest ever. That's awesome.
That's a lot. Because we've only had like a handful. It used to be I'd mow the lawn and grab one and eat it when I'm mowing the
That's
lawn.
probably why we only ever had a handful.
Well, there was only a handful to begin with. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this fun festival video.
Festival of video.
Glad you guys see us again.
Bye.